This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Oguntade, aka Nana Payena. Brothers and sisters, I want to speak on a couple of things, but let me first say peace and Pan-Africanism to my fellow Ghanaians, fellow citizens of the Honorable Republic of Ghana. It's your brother King Kong. To my American Africans, I want to speak on a few things real quick. I understand that Nelly, I think Snoop Dogg, and a few other black celebrities are catching a lot of flack from black integrationists for performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. Nelly is catching a lot of flack, and a few other black celebrities for performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. This is what I want to say. If it is a contradiction to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration, then it is a contradiction to perform at Joe Biden's inauguration. It is a contradiction to perform at Barack Obama's inauguration. It is a contradiction to perform at Bill Clinton's inauguration, because none of these politicians or political parties have done anything to help African people. So if you're going to criminalize Nelly for being paid to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration, that means no black person should be performing at any inauguration, because none of them do anything to help our people. See, we can't have it both ways. We can't have it both ways. If Kamala Harris would have won the presidency, y'all wouldn't have said anything about people performing at Kamala Harris's inauguration, even though she has no history of helping black people. So why is it okay to perform at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's inauguration? Why was it okay to perform at Barack Obama and Joe Biden's inauguration, but it's not okay to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration? Why is there a difference in attitude? None of the political parties help black people. All of them have done wrong to our community. So unless we are going to ban everybody from performing at presidential inaugurations, then you shouldn't be saying nothing to Nelly. Then you shouldn't be saying nothing to Nelly. Then you shouldn't be saying nothing to Nelly. Okay? That's my opinion on that. How you going to get mad at people for performing at the Trump inauguration, but you don't get mad for people performing at the Joe Biden inauguration? Joe Biden spent his whole career fighting against school desegregation, but it was okay to perform. Joe Biden spent his whole career fighting against public school desegregation, but you didn't get mad at black people for performing at Joe Biden's inauguration. Donald Trump is an enemy to African people. Yes, he is. But so is Kamala Harris. So is Joe Biden. So is Barack Obama. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? He's an entertainer. He got he got paid to entertain. He's an entertainer who got paid to entertain. Leave the man alone. Leave the man alone. Leave Nelly alone. Shout out to Nelly and Ashanti. Black Love Matters. Leave the man alone. Leave the man alone. Because y'all worship stone cold sellouts out here. Y'all listen to their music. Y'all go to people's concerts who never did nothing for black people. But Nelly is wrong for performing at the Donald Trump inauguration. Miss me with it. Now, would it be wrong for Dr. Umar to perform at the Donald Trump inauguration? Yes. I have no business performing at the Donald Trump inauguration because I'm an activist and an organizer and a Pan-Africanist. It would be wrong for me to do it. Is it wrong for Nelly to do it? No, Nelly is not an activist or an organizer. Okay, he is an entertainer and he was paid to entertain. It was a business arrangement. Unless we're going to hold everybody accountable, you can't hold anybody accountable. Unless we're going to hold everybody accountable, we can't hold anybody accountable. Unless we're going to hold everybody accountable, we can't hold anybody accountable. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Second thing. I understand that Donald Trump signed an executive order to eliminate the celebrating of Black history on the federal level, I believe it was, right? No more Black History Month on a federal level or something to that effect. Is it disrespectful? Of course. Is it wrong? Of course. But as a Pan-Africanist, I don't care. I don't care. Why don't you care about Donald Trump eliminating the celebration of Black History Month on the federal level? And I'll tell you why. Why do I want my enemies to celebrate my history? What benefit does that serve? Why do I want my enemies to celebrate my history? What benefit does that serve? Why do I want my enemies to celebrate my history? What benefit does that serve? What have we gotten out of non-Africans learning about Black history in this country? Somebody help me. Carter G. Woodson, a friend of the Right Excellent Most Honorable Marcus Garvey, started Black History Month in 1926, I believe it was. 1926. I think next year is the centennial of Negro History Week. I think next year is the centennial of Negro History Week. So we've been celebrating Black history for 100 years. We've been celebrating Black history for 99 years. What difference does it make if Donald Trump no longer celebrates Black history? What did we lose? Because as a Pan-Africanist, I don't lose anything from Caucasians not celebrating my history. I don't lose nothing. I don't lose anything if Caucasians don't celebrate my history. I don't lose nothing if Donald Trump doesn't celebrate my history. See, you have two kinds of Negroes in America. You have those who believe in governmental dependency, and you have those who believe in self-determination. You have two types of Negroes in America. You have those of us who believe in governmental dependency, and you have those who believe in self-determination. If you believe in self-determination, you don't care about Nelly performing at the inauguration. If you believe in Black self-determination, you don't care about Donald Trump getting rid of Black History Month, because I don't need my enemies celebrating my history. Now, if you are an integrationist and you believe in governmental dependency, you have a problem with Nelly performing at the inauguration because you believe you are a part of this. If you are an integrationist and a governmental dependent person, you believe in governmental dependency for Black people, you are angry that Donald Trump has eliminated the celebrating of Black history. I don't care because none of that matters. See, here's what they want you to do. The Democratic Party plantation slaves want you to focus on superficial changes. Nelly performing at the inauguration. Is that more important than the mass incarceration of Black people? Is Nelly performing at the inauguration more important than the mass incarceration of Black people? Donald Trump getting rid of Black History Month, is that more important than the homelessness and gentrification of Black people? See, the problem with those who believe in governmental dependency, they want to fight against any superficial change in the standard operating procedure of America. I don't care about Nelly performing at the inauguration, and I don't care about Donald Trump getting rid of Black history. You know why? Yes, our history is important. Our history is very important. But our history is so important that it should be taught by Black people. I want the police who kill us every day to know my history. For what? For what? Why do I want the police to celebrate Black history? For what? For what? I don't believe in governmental dependency. We have our priorities out of order. I keep hearing about Black History Month. I keep hearing about Nelly and Snoop Dogg at the inauguration. That has nothing to do with nothing. What about economic apartheid? What about police genocide? What about the miseducation of our children? So this is what we're going to do. Keep crying over superficial changes that never benefited us anyway. The government celebrating Black History Month. How did that benefit Black people? I need an answer. How did the government celebrating Black History Month benefit Black people? How does Nelly performing at the inauguration hurt Black people? How? Now I'm going to go to DEI. Here's the point that I'm making, y'all. If you want to be upset with Nelly for performing at the inauguration, I can name a whole bunch of Black people you should be upset for before you get upset for Nelly. Before you get upset at Nelly for performing at the inauguration, there's a whole bunch of Black people who you should be mad at before Nelly. Barack Obama ain't been held accountable yet. Kamala Harris ain't been held accountable yet. Joe Biden ain't been held accountable yet. The Democratic Party ain't been held accountable yet. The Republican Party ain't been held accountable yet. And y'all want to beat up on Nelly? Does that make sense? Y'all want to beat up on Snoop Dogg? Does that make sense to you? How is it Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and Barack Obama get a pass, but we mad at Snoop Dogg and Nelly for performing at Donald Trump's inauguration? Somebody make it make sense. And now Donald Trump says we not celebrating Black History Month no more. So what? We are supposed to be celebrating Black History Month. Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week for us, not for the federal government. Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week for Black people, not for the federal government. And then let's talk about DEI. DEI did not benefit Black people en masse. It benefited a couple of token Blacks. And I'm sorry, y'all gonna lose your little token benefits. But DEI did not benefit the masses of African people. Barack Obama is the first president to use the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in his DEI initiative that he signed in August of 2011. Mandating that the federal government take steps to diversify, include, and guarantee equity for minorities. But it was all about the rainbow. That law was about immigrants and rainbow gangers. It was not about Black people. Yes, you have a few Black people who are going to lose some DEI benefits. But we are 42 million. And when we add our African immigrant brothers and sisters in, we're about 45, 48. I'm going to round it up because they always suppress our numbers. I'm going to round it up to 50 million Africans in America. Somebody help me understand how Barack Obama's DEI has benefited Black people in these past 16 years. Help me understand. Affirmative action is not the same as DEI. Affirmative action was destroyed by George Bush in the opening years of the 21st century. He destroyed it. The Supreme Court destroyed it. Affirmative action has not been a governmental priority since Lyndon Baines Johnson. Affirmative action has been dead. Affirmative action been dead. That's why Barack Obama called it diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? I'll tell you why Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action. Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action because he didn't want it associated with Black people. He didn't want it associated with black people. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it again for the kunocracy in the back. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it one more time. You're fighting for something that wasn't created to help you. They are distracting you from your main fights. We should be fighting against mass incarceration. We should be fighting against miseducation. We should be fighting against police genocide. We should be fighting against economic apartheid. We should be fighting against homelessness and gentrification. Not Nelly for performing, not Snoop Dogg, not Black History, and not DEI. Lord have mercy, we in trouble. Distractions, distractions, distractions.